Are you staying in this hotel? Now, tell me if this is you. Are you the kind of person who sleep, watch TV, do work, and everything from your bed? Now, this is called creating your own prison. And we do this at home too. Again, how many of you, when you go home, you watch TV, you eat, sometimes you sleep on the couch? You see, nobody constrained you, but you constrained yourself. You made all of your activities in one place, on the couch. You're restricting your time when you go outside. What happens, ladies and gentlemen, when we expose ourselves to the sun? Vitamin D. And getting vitamin D is crucial to becoming happy. Everybody should get at least 30 minutes a day in the sun. Now, I know what you're thinking. Really? Here? In August? Even in the middle of the heat, get at least 30 minutes of sunshine or exposure to the sun every day. Because what happens if you don't, if you create your own prison, you're going to end up with health problems. You have vitamin D deficiency, which will make you stay in bed a lot more because you're sick. And the more you stay in bed, the more you stay in your prison. And the circle keeps going on and on and on. How many of us do this, by the way? Number 2, deregulate your sleep. Now, usually a normal human being will just go to bed around maybe, 9, 10. Maybe in the weekends you might stay a bit later till midnight. But again, you're sleeping almost the same time every night. And when that happens, something happens in your brain. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, every time before you go to sleep, there are the time when you are falling asleep. You're getting sleepy, your eyes is getting tired, whatever. And then you have the deep sleep, which, lasts from 6 to 8 hours. Something happens here. This is a scientific fact, by the way. Something happens right before you drift into your deep sleep, which is this. A meeting takes place in your body. Who's the boss? Your brain. Who attends the meeting? Every organ in your body. And the boss asks, all right, guys, I need status updates. Tell me what's going on. And every organ in your body starts to send signals. Your stomach might say, listen, okay, like this guy's eating too much junk food. I just can't process this anymore. Your lung might say, by the way, this guy smokes too much. I'm having it, I'm finding it difficult to even breathe. Your kidney might say, this guy with the sodas, God. And the brain keeps track of all these signals. And what happens next is, if this meeting takes place on a regular basis, your subconscious mind will try to save your life. Let me ask you this question. How many of you, during lunchtime, even though you're not trying to diet or lose weight, but one time during lunchtime, like, you know what? I think I'm in the mood for salad today. Has that ever happened to you? I'm in the mood for something light. You're not trying to lose weight or whatever, but you're just in the mood for something healthy. Why? Your subconscious mind already programmed you to eat something healthy. Already programmed you to walk a little bit more. Already programmed you to smoke less, and so on. Have you ever heard or have you ever been told that you shouldn't eat before you go to bed? Do you know why? Do you know why you shouldn't eat before you go to bed? Because if you eat right before you go to bed, your stomach is not attending this meeting. Your stomach is busy working. And thus, he's not sending the signals. And thus, your brain doesn't know if your body needs that. And this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when we deregulate our sleeps. Sometimes you take a long nap in the middle of the day. Sometimes you stay up way late. And when you do that, your brain doesn't know when to hold this meeting anymore. And this will end up affecting your life. You'll end up getting sick. And when you get sick, what happens? You stay in bed. And when you stay in bed, what happens? Step number 2 happens all over again. You're confining yourself to your own prison. And if you want to do this, by the way, your best help is Netflix and YouTube. What happens when you go to bed and you're watching a Netflix series and the episode is about to end? What does Netflix say? Do you want to see the next one? And you're thinking, one more is not gonna, it's not gonna hurt. You watch another episode, and by the time the episode ends, Netflix say, "Do you want more?" Maybe, and so on. And this will help you to deregulate your sleep, thus allowing your brain not to hold this meeting, thus affecting your own health. Step number 3, screen time. Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, that in the past 20 or 30 years, there haven't been a groundbreaking invention? Now, there has been some developments, but usually it's just taking 2 things and merge them together. But a brand new invention, something new out of the blue, that hasn't happened in the last 20 or 30 years. Do you know why? Let me ask you this. You're having a doctor appointment. You come to the hospital, and the nurse say, "Please wait 5-10 minutes." As soon as you sit down, what do you do? What do you do? You're already grabbing your phone. The first thing that you do is grabbing your phone. In order for you to be creative, you need to give your mind a chance not to think about anything else. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever noticed the best ideas that you get happens right before you sleep or if you are in the shower? Why? Because you're not grabbing your phone at that time. This is the problem. When you are actually forcing your brain to focus on something else, playing a game or watching reels or whatever, you're not giving your brain enough time to be creative, enough time to think of something new. Now, I know what you're thinking. What, you want me to cut social media? No, I'm not asking you to. But I'm asking you to give your brain a break. Try it tonight, ladies and gentlemen. 15 minutes of you sitting down with no phones. And I promise you, you're going to come up with something. You're going to find an idea. You're going to come up with a creative idea, something that might help you in your personal life or your work life. Why? Because now your brain has a break. It has a break to actually think and do something. Next, feed your negative emotions. By a show of hands, how many of you here loves like football or soccer? You're a big fan. Are you a big fan, sir? Yes, you like it, right? Now, you have an option. Option 1, you can go out, call a bunch of friends, and go and play. Thus, exposing yourself to the sun, getting some vitamin D, improving your health. Or, you can sit home and watch a game. What's your favorite team, sir? What is your favorite team? Real Madrid. All right, he's a Real Madrid fan. You're watching the game. It's Real Madrid versus Barcelona. And the game is heated. You're sitting there with your coffee and your, chips or whatever, and Barcelona scores. Your wife walked in. "Hey, sweetie, how are you doing?" Just get out of here. Why? You're upset. Your team just lost. Let me ask you this. Do you think Real Madrid even know you exist? They don't. And yet, he's an important person in your life. You yelled at her. You crushed her over a team that doesn't even know that you exist. This is what I mean, ladies and gentlemen, by feeding your own negative emotions. Sometimes we get upset over things that's out of our control. We see it all the time when we're going on social media. How many of you have seen a post on TikTok or Twitter or whatever, and the post is so aggravating? The post is so enraging. It's supposed to just make you mad. Imagine if I wrote a post saying, I think men are better than women in everything. What are you thinking? Wait. You're ready to fight. She writes a comment. You respond. Then she responds. And then you respond. And then she responds. And all of a sudden, my post is getting viral. I did that intentionally. Ladies and gentlemen, the most reaction that you can get out of people is either when they're angry or when they're sad. Anger and sadness, sometimes over things that's out of our control, is the best way to get a reaction out of people. You're fighting me and you're yelling at me and you're in the comments and you don't even know who I am. You got upset, like your blood is boiling while I'm enjoying the fame. You made me famous. You made me viral. While you got upset yourself. The same thing about sadness, ladies and gentlemen. Ma'am, do you know that statistically, 95% statistically, you're going to witness someone who's very close to you die during your lifetime? Maybe your dad, your mom, your kids. They're all going to die. They're all going to leave this world. Now, how is she thinking? Oh my God, you just bumped me out. You know what? Death is going to happen anyways. And you have a choice whether to bump yourself over it or think, well, since everybody I know is going to die anyways, let me enjoy the time I have with them now. But we choose to feed the negative emotions. We choose to be sad over things that we cannot even control. And these are your best friends. If you want to feed your negative emotions, go on Twitter or go on TikTok. It's filled with enraging content that will make your blood boil and go on. Number 5, set vague goals. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of SMART goals. What does the S stand for? Specific. Your goal has to be specific. I remember a few years back, I was speaking in London. There's an engineering college, and they wanted me to speak at their graduation. So I'm standing in front of freshly graduated engineering students. And I asked this question. I said, where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years? And the first student said, I would like to be a successful engineer. All right, thank you. How about you, ma'am? I would like to be a successful engineer. All right, how about you, sir? I would like to be a... What does successful engineer even mean? How do you know? When you wake up that morning and think, yep, today I'm a successful engineer. You don't know. You don't know. In my line of work, I work for an oil company in Saudi Arabia. And I remember a long time ago when I first joined the company, and they got all the freshly new employees to meet with the vice president of the company. And again, the vice president asked the same question. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And everybody started to give these answers, you know, these cliche answers that makes you want to throw up. I want to work in an enriching environment that enables teamwork and self-development. Yeah, that kind of answers. Until one of them stood up and he said, in 10 years, I want to have your job. He looks at the vice president and said, in 10 years, I want to have your job. And he said, now that's a person who knows what he wants. Ladies and gentlemen, when the goal is not clear, it's easy for you to quit. If you don't know where you're heading, it's easy for you to quit and then start something new, which again, you don't know where you're heading, and then quit and start something new. In fact, when you set your goal beyond what you actually want, let me ask you this question. How many of you here would like to lose weight? You want to lose weight, sir? All right, so this is your goal. Maybe your goal is you want to lose weight. But how about if you go to the gym and say, my goal is to look like this? Again, there's nothing wrong with it. But this is going to take a very long time, and you know it. So why not lose the weight first, and then build your muscles? You know what the problem is when you set your goal when you set your goal to something that you don't even want, is you go to the gym every day for a week or two or a month, and then you look yourself in the mirror and say, I don't see it yet. And when you don't see it, what you're going to do? You're going to quit. You're going to stop. Remember what I said earlier today? Set yourself a target first, like an easy one. When you get there, what's my next step? And what's my next step? And so on. Number 6, go shopping. You know, ladies and gentlemen, with all of the things that I've mentioned earlier, your brain will always, always try to save you. Your brain will always want to achieve something new. New heights, new goals, and so on. But also, your brain thinks about other things. I have a mortgage. I have a payment in my car. I have a loan from the bank. Let me ask you this. Do you love your job? No. Big yes. Fantastic. Now, I hope that you do. I hope that you love your job. But let me ask you this. Do you go to work every morning because you want to or because you have to? See, here's the difference. Some people go to their work because they have loans and mortgages and things they have to pay. So I need to do this job, so they pay me so I can pay these people. Even if their job is fun, even if their job is exactly what they want to do, deep in their mind they're thinking, I'm doing it because I have to. When you have financial independence, the motive or the thing that will drive you to come to work every day is not because you have to. It's because you want to. So, the more shopping that you do, the more debt that you have. And the more debt that you have, the more that you're going to think, I'm actually in this job because I have to, not because I want to. You might be actually in a job that you enjoy, but now deep down you're thinking, I cannot let go, I cannot leave, or like even if I get, you might actually get a better opportunity that you don't even want just because you have bills that you have to pay. And your best friends to achieve that are these. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, because of my line of work, I get to rub shoulders with people who are influencers, people on social media. You know, those people who you see flying first class and going to resorts everywhere or whatever. I've seen these people. I've dealt with these people. And I'm here to tell you, 95%, and I'm not making this up, 95% of these people are actually broke. They're taking loans from the bank just so he can fly business class and show it to people. He wants to convince you that this is his daily life. It's not. Those people are extremely miserable. You would not believe it. You would not believe what I actually saw. I see people on social media doing this. Hey, my followers, whatever, and he's smiling, and then as soon as the camera go off, he's a different person altogether. Don't believe what you see online. The problem is when we see all these people online living the lavish life, we ask ourselves, how come I'm not doing that? I want to travel. I want to wear expensive clothes. I want to go on beaches and resorts like those people. And we end up taking on things that we don't even need. Warren Buffett once said, We spend money we don't have on things we don't need just to impress people we don't even like. And isn't that true, ladies and gentlemen? We spend money we don't have, loans and credit cards, on things we don't need, lavish stuff, just to impress the enemy. The people who are close to us will love us no matter what. Number 7, direct approach to happiness. Anybody here enjoys fishing? Fishing. How do you do it, sir? You go to the beach and then? Okay. How? You use your hook and bait and whatever. Really? Why didn't you do this? Why don't you just stand on the shore, wait for the fish to come, and try to grab it? It doesn't work. And after a while, all the fishes are swimming away. It's like, who is this crazy dude? The way to fish is to go in the middle of the sea, take your hook, throw it, and wait. Might take an hour, 2, but the fish will come to you. Now, what do I mean by a direct approach to happiness? This is something that we often do. What happens when you get so stressed at work? There's so much work, there's a lot of things to do. What's the first thing that you think of? I need a vacation, right? Oh, God, I need a vacation. Now, what do you do when you need a vacation? You book a weekend and you travel. And what happens when you travel? Thank you. Exactly. You spend so much money in a weekend. But at the end, the weekend is over. And when the weekend is over, you're going to come back to the same job, the same stress. The difference is you have so much debt now because of all of the shopping that you just did. You're putting a Band-Aid on a broken arm. Ask yourself, why am I stressed at work? Maybe there's a talent or there's something that I should acquire in order to do my job more efficiently, faster, better. Work on yourself first. Improve yourself first. Maybe you need to take some courses or whatever it needs to take to improve you. So the job that you do, you can do it much faster, much better, so the stress is actually less. Now, this might take a very long time. But just like fishing, the fish will come to you. Number 8, be around real people. Now, what do I mean by that? In our circle of friends, in our line of circle of friends, we have 3 types of people. Now, the first 2 are easy to identify. You have a dream you want to achieve. You tell me your dream, and I'll be like, really? Come on, sir, you can't do this. It's too much. You're not qualified. You can't do it. This is the pessimist. I kill your dream right away. We know these kind of people. The second type is, you tell me your dream, and I say, you know what? Go for it. I think you can do it. I believe in you. These should be our closest friends. Now, there's a third type that a lot of people don't know. The realists. You have a dream you want to achieve. You tell me what it is. And I say, that's a fantastic idea. However, you have to do this and that, and this and that, and this and that. What you thinking? Looks like it's too much work. Even though I might just give you these as advices. In fact, I'm going to do an exercise with you guys. I want one of you to give me an idea that you want to implement in your schools. This idea is supposed to make your work more fun. Anybody? How would you make your work environment more fun? Yes, let's give her a hand, everybody.
I did not say anything yet. Okay. Yeah. The environment and the culture, maybe I can give 10 minutes in the middle of the day for all the students and the teacher. Give break 10 minutes. Do not talk about work. Do not talk about anything you are worried of. Just breathe.
Okay. Again, let's give her a big hand of applause. So the idea is every day, in the middle of the day, 10 minutes of a break, we don't discuss anything, right? Now, I'm going to point at random people in the audience. And as soon as I point at you, I want you to start elaborating on what you just heard. But I want you to start with yes, but. So the idea is, let's have 10 minutes in the middle of the school time for teachers and students where we don't do anything. It's a break where it's all you don't do anything. Yes, but...
Yes, but when is the best time to do it? Because all the schedules are different.
Exactly. All the schedules are different. Maybe your classes, again, valid points. Your classes doesn't match my classes, so I don't know what time is this 10 minutes going to happen. Yes, but...
Conduct my class in the open air. In the open air, like in a garden.
The idea is, let's get a 10 minutes break in the middle of the day. Yes, but...
Yes, but I'll make it 20 minutes. What? Make it 20 minutes.
He just like expanded more. Okay. Yes, but...
Yes, but it is too late. What I do in my school, we have a pianist as a reception. She play music every morning when teachers are coming in with Fairuz songs. It makes a difference.
So yeah, why in the middle of the day? We should have it at the beginning of the day. Absolutely. Yes, but...
it needs a lot of planning.
It needs a lot of planning. I mean, like, we should see the schedule of all the teachers and so on. Yes, but...
Yes, but why do we need a break?
Why do we need a break? We love our... Like, you know, the kids need to learn. Now, how do you think she feels? Now she's thinking, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm not even going to share anything with you anymore. Let's do the same thing again. Somebody else give me another idea that will make your school more fun. Another idea. Yes, ma'am. Provide free lunch for all staff. Now this time, instead of yes, but, let's do yes and. Provide lunch for all staff. Yes and...
Yes, and we'll have a lot of happy teachers.
We'll have a lot of happy teachers. Yes and...
Provide the 10 minutes break as well.
Oh, so a lunch and a break. Okay. Yes and...
Is it going to be a negative thing or a positive thing? And who's going to pay for it?
And who's going to pay for it? Yeah, we can think about that. Sure. Yes and...
Yes, and have some planned activities as well.
Not just lunch and a show. So you see how the idea grew just because we didn't see what could go wrong with it. Now, I'm not asking you to be reckless. You are a planner, and you should plan your day. But I'm asking you not to shut down an idea just by pointing out what could go wrong with it. There's a lot of great ideas that get buried under the rug just because we started to pick out what could go wrong instead of thinking what could go right. And this is the kind of people who, they think they're giving you an advice. It's a great idea, but we have to think about the finance, and we have to think about the schedule or whatever. When they do this, you start to give up yourself. Because they started thinking what should be done first, rather than what could happen if this is done. Number 9, compare. When I was in elementary school, as I said earlier, I used to stutter a lot, and thus I spent most of my time alone. And because I spent most of my time alone, I used to read a lot. And thus I became the top student in my class. Always number 1. Year after year. Always the top student. But that changed when I got into high school. I moved to a different school, and that's when I met my worst enemy. His name is Turkey. Let me tell you about this Turkey. This Turkey, he was very popular. Everybody loved him. He was in the soccer team, he was in the theater group, he was in the chess group, whatever. Everybody knew him, everybody loved him. He was very social. Me, on the other hand, I'm the student who sat at the back of the class. The kind of student you look at him and think, yep, he's going to be a serial killer when he grows up. Now, Turkey was a handsome young man. Me, on the other hand, you can see for yourself. But then, after the first midterm, the principal walked into our class and he hung the list on the wall of the top 10 students in the class. Kind of a motivation for everybody else. And when I looked at the list, Turkey was first, and I was second. Have you ever wanted to kill someone? Why does this guy get it all? The fame, the popularity, and even number one? That's my thing. You know what? The race is on. I'm going to do whatever to defeat this person. And for the next midterm, I studied extra hard. I did extracurricular stuff. I smooshed to all the teachers just to get ahead. And then the list on the wall again. Turkey's first, and I'm second. You know what bothered me the most? He didn't even study. Have you ever had that student? He doesn't even study, he just walked in and boom, he gets all the grades. 3 years of high school, and Turkey is always first, and I'm always second. We finished high school, and I applied for a medical college because I've always wanted to be a doctor. And I got accepted into a medical college in my small hometown in the south side of Saudi Arabia. Turkey applied to the same college, different major, and he got accepted too. But then, my dad got me a scholarship to study engineering in the United States. And I had an option to make. Do I go to the States? Or do I spend 4 more years with this guy? You know what? Screw my dream. Let's go to the States. And that's what I did. I studied 4 years in engineering. I graduated. I came back. I got a job. The pay is fantastic. Everything is going well. But in the back of my head, I kept on thinking, whatever happened to him? So I called some of my friends from high school. Not him, because again, we don't talk. Yo, guys, how we doing? We're doing so great. By the way, how is Turkey doing? Well, he finished his bachelor degree, and now he's doing his master's degree. Master's degree, you say? Why does this guy get a master's degree and I don't? I walk straight into my boss's office. I'm gonna need some time off work to do a master's degree. Dude, you just got hired. No. I must win some other way. I proved myself so well in my work. I got promoted before all of my friends. I bought my house when I was only 26. I bet he doesn't even have a house. And 2 years later, I called my friends again. Yo, how we doing? We're doing great. By the way, how is Turkey doing? Well, he finished his master's degree, and now he's doing his PhD. PhD, you say? This guy gets a DR in front of his name and I don't? No matter what I do, this guy always wins. He wins this race all the time. I worked extra hard. In 2015, I won the championship of the World Championship of Public Speaking. I'm all over the news. Everybody knows who I am. I bet nobody knows who he is. But then in 2017, something magical happened. Again, I went to see my family, and I was in a coffee shop one day, and as I was walking out, I saw him. I haven't seen him since high school. We shook hands, and then he asked me the question that I've been waiting for him to ask me all these years. So, Muhammad, how are you doing? How am I doing? Oh boy, oh boy. Let me tell you how am I doing. And I started to tell him about all the successes I have. The job, the house. I even showed him my bank statement just to see how much money I have. And I'm sure you've seen me all over the news and all over YouTube. And with everything I'm telling him, I'm looking at his face. I'm waiting for that look. The look of disappointment. The look that says, yeah, I lost and Muhammad won. But to my surprise, with everything I'm telling him, he's happy. He's even happier for me. Why is he happy? He shouldn't be happy. I won. I crushed him. He should be devastated. And then I flipped the question. I said, by the way, how are you? And he told me that he finished his PhD and now he teaches in the same university. Teaching. How much does that pay? He said, it's never about the pay. Ever since I was a child, I dreamt to be a teacher. And now I'm living my dream. Every day when I go to work, it doesn't even feel like work. And that's when I realized he wins again. Because I had a dream to become a doctor. And I threw that away just to win a race with someone who's not even racing. He was living his life while I made my success is based on, am I better than him or not? Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't benchmark against others. Yeah, we should learn from them. But your measure of success should not be, I should be better than him or I should be better than her. Again, Warren Buffett said, if you have $200 million in your bank account, 200 million, there isn't anything in this world that you want that you can't get. You want a sports car, you can have one. You want a private jet, you can get one. You want a mansion, you can have one. All you need is 200 million. Now, if that's the case, why do we have 4,000 billionaires in this world? Billionaires. They have so much money, they cannot even spend, even if they tried. Because for those people, success is now, am I better than Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg? Where am I in the list? Don't put your success based on somebody else. Have your own goal, have your own dreams. If somebody else achieves something else, congratulations. But you know what? Let me have my own way. Lastly, focus only on you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you go to the piers and you watch fishermen, when they fish for crabs, they put the crabs in a bucket. And they don't even close the bucket. Even though the crabs are still alive. They know that crabs cannot escape. Do you know why? Because crabs are selfish. One crab will try to climb. Another crab sees him and think, aha, I can use him and climb over. And by doing so, he's pushing this one down. Another crab sees him, aha, I can use him. And if you look at the bucket, it's just crabs pulling each other down, and nobody's able to achieve anything. Ladies and gentlemen, in your line of work, you can win. You can win by sabotaging others. If I show my boss, for example, that I'm always punctual, but he's kind of late sometimes. I always do my work, but she's not doing so well. I can do that. And guess what? You might actually get You might actually get that promotion that you've been looking for. But at the end, you will only celebrate your success alone. How good is a birthday cake if nobody can eat it? I said that earlier. We either succeed as a team or we lose as a team. Extending a helping hand to someone who needs it within your team doesn't mean that somebody might actually take your job later. No, it means we succeed together. I don't have to sabotage you just in order for me to go ahead. So, my fellow beautiful audience, I just gave you 10 steps to be unhappy. I want you to look deep within yourself and ask yourself, am I doing any of these? And if the answer is yes, then perhaps it's time to change. Thank you so much for listening.